final tips you'd like to leave to people that are on the entrepreneurial journey that you've mentioned quite a few, but is there a couple of tips that you would like to restate or tell us about that you think are really, really important for any entrepreneur?
Yes. Two things I'd like to say, Jeff, and thank you for this question. It's something that's been on my heart. There are two more things that haven't mentioned. The first thing is your legacy. Okay, so being an entrepreneur is not just about making money. It's not just about you becoming rich or looking after a family. Those are all important, but the crucial thing is your legacy. And in the book Pay the Price, I talk about the four kinds of legacy that every entrepreneur can leave. The first kind of legacy you can leave is that of a philanthropist. Okay, so a philanthropy means that you are a good, a bit like Jimmy Carter or Bill Gates. You leave a lot of things behind for people. But philanthropy is not just the only thing that you can leave. So a philanthropist basically has you leave in a good legacy for people.
Yep.
There's also what you call the purists. So an example of a philanthropy, by the way, would be someone like Jimmy Carter, who I like to use. You can also leave a legacy by being a purist. Now, a purist is someone who leaves a legacy solely through the company that they founded or they led. Steve Jobs is an example of that. Okay, so Steve Jobs, you don't think of Steve Jobs as a philanthropist. Steve Jobs' legacy is Apple. Okay, so people are inspired from Steve Jobs through Apple. That's another kind of legacy that you leave. Okay, there's also the legacy of a profligate, which is a legacy that is a wasted legacy. Okay, Jeffrey Epstein is one of them. Okay, he wasted his legacy through a bad company and a bad personal legacy. That's what we call the legacy of a profligate. And the final legacy, which I believe that every entrepreneur should aspire for, is what we call the legacy of a pathfinder. Now, a pathfinder's legacy, he leaves a legacy through his personal life of being a philanthropist, being an example, and also a legacy through his business. And I use Strive Masiwa. Strive Masiwa is an African. He's the first billionaire, black billionaire in the UK. He's a Zimbabwean, and he's leaving a legacy through his company, which is called Equinix, which has built the biggest, Equinix built the biggest telecoms in Africa. And also, he's leaving a legacy through his personal life, through philanthropy. He's sponsored by 100,000 Africans who are orphans to get a good education. He's working with Virgin to get a better carbon-free world. He's doing work with Bill Gates. He does work with farmers. So the legacy we should all aspire for is the legacy of a pathfinder, which is a good business and being a good person. Mm-hmm. So when you're an entrepreneur, you started on your journey, you need to always remember the legacy that you're leaving, not just the money that you're making, but the legacy. And that's one of the things that I like to leave. And the second tip is that we need to get inspiration from everything around us. So in the book, I talk about legacy, getting inspiration from poetry, from music, from things that we don't normally notice. And so entrepreneurs, we need to cut our nets wide. I mean, I have a Spotify list, for instance. I have music that I listen to when I'm down. So we need to look beyond just traditional business books and listening to business people and spread our net wide into poetry, into music, into nature, into all these things. All these things play a huge part in success. So those are the two things I'd like to leave. Looking outside business and leaving a good legacy.